All right, it's a rainy February day out. I'm gonna do something just a little bit different. Obviously, I haven't been making and posting any videos lately, and the one or two that I have probably aren't up anymore. So I'm gonna do something a little different. I'd like to get your opinion on something, maybe some input from some folks. So there's a little box right there that I need to get out, and we'll open that together. It'll be a bit of a refresher for me. I don't remember what all is in there, but let me get it on the table and I'll bring you back. All right, so if you see me struggling, it might be a bit of a hint as to what's in it. And it wasn't as bad as I remember it. So I've got some loose ones as well. This is just what I had at the last place I was living at. Needed to put them in a box. So let's go ahead and get this thing open. See what we're dealing with. I mean, I know a little bit of what's in here, but one of those things out of sight, out of mind, so I don't really remember what all I have. Hopefully it's nothing that I don't want you to see. Shouldn't be. Okay. Well, it looks to be mostly junk. A lot of junk in here. And I've got some, like I said, I've got some loose ones that I'll pull from elsewhere and set them up here too. So I'm gonna get just axes out and maybe a few hatchet heads. No brush axes, no hammer heads. Hopefully none of this is actually sharp. Man, stuff I've had for a long time. Jeez. Okay, that's enough for that box. Let's get the loose ones out. This box is definitely the nicest one. I've got another one somewhere. I did some rearranging recently, so I'm not exactly sure where I put it. It might be in this drawer. No. Must be in my car still. So what I'm needing help with is picking out my next axe-related project. This is not everything that I have, but this is what I have here. So most likely, well, I'd prefer a project that I have in hand, but I've got a lot of stuff here. I'll show you this race axe. Done a lot of sanding to it to take some mill scale and mill marks out of it. Then I plan on polishing it up. But that's one I need to do regardless of what anybody says. I need to have you can never have too many race axes. But as far as a normal man's axe, I'm looking to start another project or maybe do like a race type build. Get a more chopper friendly bevel grind set up on one of these with an actual race handle, maybe super thinned out. But let's see here. If I call something what it's not, what it isn't actually, feel free to tell me I was wrong or whatever. But I've only got one double bit here. Most of this stuff is older. There are some new axes, like within the last 10 years they were made, but majority of it is older stuff. So I'll start with this. This one had a fiberglass handle in it, and it might have cost me 10 or 15 bucks for the axe, so I just cut the handle off and had intentions of putting a wooden handle in it. It's a cool axe. I've got a smaller one. So this one is around the 3 pound mark, 1,500 grams, whatever that is, maybe just a little over. So that would be a cool one. And we've got this big Plum 4 pounder. It's probably just under 4 pounds. It's actually a really nice axe. There's just a few little dings, and it may have been painted black at one time, but this one will clean up nice. I'm pretty sure these are fairly common, but this would be a cool one. We have this Michigan style, I would assume. It's got Trooper stamped in it. Mexico. I think this was an eBay purchase. It didn't cost that much, but it was pretty rusty when I got it. So I'd say this is 80s or 90s when this was made. You can see the line there from where I had it in the rust remover. It'll make that higher carbon steel stand out, just like putting it in vinegar or some kind of acid. So that would be a cool one as well. And we've got this, I'm not sure what pattern this would be. Carolina, something like that, I'm not sure. But this one's right under 3.5 pounds. Same with this one here. They're both exact same weight. That's a really pretty axe head. It's got some nice flare in here. Hopefully be good for popping chips out. So that one cleaned up well. Double bit with some damage. This one here, I'm actually wanting to do a repair job on with some TIG and some tool steel filler. So I can either backfill this and re-harden this side and temper, or I can get an actual corner of another axe that's beat up really bad and then re-harden and temper after that. This one has some really nice pitting in it. Not a lot of folks like this, but I think it's cool looking. More of a decorative piece. I cleaned up this edge some because it was really bad pitted, but that would be a pretty one, a nice wall hanger. And it almost looks like it has some sort of stamp or embossing in it, but I have yet to be able to make that out. This one here, this is an absolute basket case. At one time I was able to read this thing. It does say Kelly Works on it, so I do have I have one that's in good shape of this. So I mean, you could tell somebody just absolutely obliterated this thing. It would be cool to bring it back, but it would need a lot of work. A lot of either material removal or build up of material. And then of course you'd have to reheat treat it. So that one, yeah, I don't know about that one. actually thinking, now that I think about it, this one here and this one here are very, very similar. Like, they're almost identical as far as their shape and size. This one here's got a lot more pitting in it. So these two might have come together, I can't remember. But I've already done some edge work on this. So this one, if I just stuck a handle in it and cleaned it up, this one I'm sure would chop really well. We'll get on to the bigger stuff. So I've still got this Timberman that I got off of filming. What a good axe. What a pretty axe. Like, it sucks that they're not making these, as far as I know. Not making these anymore. Super thick. Needs a lot of thinning. Unfortunately, I assume that when they cast this, the ports that led into the sand cast would have entered here and here. However they oriented, I'm not sure. So they had to grind all that out. It doesn't have that cast mark look to it. But if I was to do this axe, I would probably grind out wings anyways. And then I could replicate this rough texture again. But I really want this to be, I want this to be as heavy as possible. And I want it to chop well, obviously. I'd like to have the cheeks of this thing highly polished and the rest of it left rough, but no paint on it. This one is definitely getting a race handle. I've already, in years past, I've already started fitting a handle to it. And then the last bigger axe that I have is this Hi-Test. It's a Challenger, I believe. 4 pound, it's under that now. The toe has had a lot of material removal. But, I mean, it's totally usable that way. It's just not as pretty. Came from the same place. Got it from the same guy. This one was put in some rust remover and it cleaned up well. And there's that carbon steel, higher carbon steel line there. So, and I already showed the other race axe. I do have another China axe that is actually overweight and is wider than most of them that I've ever gotten. So that one will probably end up being maybe a tree axe for me for the springboard event. So that'll be getting a lot of TLC from myself and maybe some others to get it up to snuff. I've got some plans for that China head as well, as far as removing material in very specific areas to make it more friendly in the tree. So, but yeah, I mean, obviously all this stuff needs to get done. I just wanted to see what other folks thought, get some input. I did have a few comments on a video that I posted and took down about this drawer here. Folks wanted to see more of the stuff that's in here, as far as just seeing more axe related stuff. And I agree 100%. So let's get back into that. I'll move you and I will show something I've been working on though. So over here is my new, I guess, organizational setup, as well as project shelf. I've been working on a lot of chainsaw stuff here in my little garage, and I do run a rotary tool, grinding on cylinders, mufflers, pistons, that kind of stuff. But for the most part, there's really not a lot of noise that I'm putting out of here, so I can't do a lot of heavy material removal, such as working on axe heads, grinding axe heads, sanding down on handles, which you can kind of see over here. We got 6 race handles over here. So I've really been focusing on my chainsaw stuff, and that's something that I've been doing for off and on for the last 10 or 11 years. It's a hobby that it's easy to accumulate lots of stuff very quickly, especially if you are into repairing stuff or saving old things, saving old saws. Then you're going to accumulate a lot of stuff, and this is just a tiny fraction of what I actually have, but this is the stuff that I'm using more regularly or working on more regularly. So if anybody wants to see that kind of stuff, let me know. Obviously the name of this channel is indicative of what it was meant to be about, but I think axes and chainsaws go hand in hand, especially when you do lumberjack sports, timber sports, that type of stuff. I'm a huge gearhead, and chainsaws are just an easy, fun way to be involved in motorsports. So that's one reason that I love it so much and have for such a long time, and hope to be doing it for a lot longer and be getting a lot better at it. So like I said, let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see. Whatever I end up doing, I hope it'll be quick. I hope I'll get back to using whatever I come up with, using training axes, chopping wood, practicing for timber sports and whatnot. Been a lot of stuff going on personally, but no excuses. It's time to really focus on what I want to do, and hopefully sharing that with people who are like-minded and enjoy the same stuff. So thank you for watching.